Diabetes is caused by many factors, but mainly it's caused by insulin resistance. So the key to protecting yourself against diabetes is to lower something called insulin-like growth factors. Why do people get insulin resistance? One is fat begets more fat. When you're eating what's called high-glycemic foods, processed foods, white sugar, white flour, your pancreas has to make a lot of insulin, your liver is making a lot of insulin-like growth factor. Your leptin axis becomes distorted, and so you feel hungry all the time. There are a number of foods that we can put in our bodies that make us more sensitive to insulin, lower the amount of insulin we need, and restore the leptin-ghrelin axis back to normal. Chicory can be found either in its leaf form or its root form. The leaf form of chicory is loaded with inulin and oligofructose. These are what are called prebiotic nutrients. They're very important because they promote healthy bacteria within the gut that lower inflammation and therefore lower the risk of diabetes and prediabetes. Chicory is also rich in a mineral called vanadium, which promotes insulin sensitivity. Chicory is excellent for avoiding weight gain and obesity and helping to prevent diabetes. Anybody concerned about diabetes should make sure they consume cinnamon on a daily basis. Cinnamon enhances insulin sensitivity. It facilitates glucose going into cells for more efficient glucose and carbohydrate utilization. Just adding 3 grams of cinnamon after a meal makes you feel full for longer, so it's been used as a weight loss aid as well as an anti-diabetic aid. It's best you make sure your cinnamon is organic because chemicals can be used in the processing of cinnamon that you better avoid. Make sure it's part of your regimen for preventing prediabetes and diabetes. Coconut has a number of different properties. Coconut oil is one of the best oils for cooking because it has one of the highest smoke points. Coconut water is great after exercising because it's isotonic. That means it has the same electrolyte mixture of your blood plasma. There are few substances on the planet as powerful and as variable on so many body systems as lauric acid, and coconut is the richest source of this. Think about coconut fruit, coconut oil, coconut water, and coconut milk for overall good health and diabetes prevention. Radishes are very important for any weight loss regime or anti-diabetic regimen. Radishes markedly improve insulin sensitivity. In my book, I describe how many patients tell me, "Dr. Gaynor, I'm just always hungry." I tell them to include radishes in their diet. It'll improve your leptin sensitivity, make you feel fuller, and make you better able to metabolize the carbohydrates or sugar that you consumed with the meal. In my book, I talk a lot about DNA and gene expression, but the DNA from the bacteria in your gut or your gut microbiome makes up as much DNA as we have in the whole rest of our body. Probiotics are good bacteria for the gut. They include acidophilus, bifidobacteria, and lactobacillus. It's very important to have enough dietary fiber that nourish these types of bacteria, and it's also very important to take a probiotic supplement with at least 1 billion colony-forming units per pill. There are a host of them on the market. Some include the prebiotics with them as well. If you're not going to take a probiotic supplement, you can get probiotics in yogurt, especially those with kefir cultures, miso, and pickled foods like sauerkraut. While it's very important to avoid white sugar and white flour, that doesn't mean that all grains are bad. Anytime you can avoid processed foods, it's better. Brown rice is much better choice than white rice. The same goes for pastas and breads. You always want to go with whole grain pastas. This is buckwheat soba noodles. It's made from pure organic buckwheat with organic wild yam. It's loaded with protein And this is broken down in your small intestine to something called short-chain fatty acids. These are important nutrients for the good probiotic bacteria in your intestine. It's very important to avoid white sugar and white flour, as they have very high glycemic indices and therefore require a lot of insulin and make a lot of insulin-like growth factor. The biggest part of your immune system happens to be in your gut, and these types of whole grains are absolutely key to nourishing that as well. Rosemary is part of the mint family, is very important against weight gain and against diabetes. It inhibits two enzymes in the body that promote insulin resistance. So that improves glucose utilization and improves the metabolism of carbohydrates. In addition, rosemary makes you more sensitive to the effects of leptin, which is known as the satiety hormone. So it makes you feel full more quickly. You can take off the small leaves and use them in juices, as spices on various meats, vegetables, and rice dishes. Rosemary is one of the best all-round nutrients against inflammation, weight gain, and diabetes.